Okay, so in today's class, we are going to discuss the we are going to continue the law of equipartition of energy, and by using that law of equipartition of energy, we are going to find the gamma, that is the ratio of specific heat. So in the last lecture, we have calculated the value of gamma for monoatomic, diatomic, and triatomic gases. Okay, let me continue the same part here. See, in the last class, we have considered that our gas molecules as an rigid, okay, as a rigid body. Okay, we have considered that the molecules are rigid. Okay, so today's class, let me consider if they are non-rigid, then what will be the value of gamma? See, what is meant by rigid? What is meant by rigidity? As you study in the rotational motion, okay, so the bodies are rigid and they may be non-rigid also. Okay, so if you take a diatomic gas molecule, let me start with an diatomic gas molecule. Okay, so like oxygen, or it may be carbon monoxide. You can see here in oxygen there are O atoms, and in carbon monoxide, carbon and one oxygen atom. Okay, O atom is that. So they are diatomic gas molecules. See, what is the shape of the diatomic gas molecules? The diatomic gas molecules look like a dumbbell shape. Okay, now this is one molecule. So this is one more molecule. Okay, so in between a bond is there. So they are in the form of dumbbell shape. Okay, so these are the diatomic gas molecules. So how many degrees of freedom for the diatomic gas molecules? As in the last lecture, we come to know that there are 5 degrees of freedom. What is the degrees of movement? The possible values of distribution of energy. Okay, the possible value of the distribution of energy, that is called degrees of freedom. Okay, and this distribution of energy takes place in the possibility of the storage of energy. That means the possibility of their motion. So the number of ways the molecules moves, in that possible ways it stores energy. For example, if you take a diatomic gas molecule, let me consider in the first case as the rigid one. Okay, in the last lecture also we have assumed that the diatomic molecule is a rigid. Rigid means what? Now it is very fixed. Okay, the distance between the two molecules they are fixed here. Okay, the movement of the molecule takes place. For an example, this top is considered to be an rigid. Okay, if I consider one point and then second point, and distance between this 10 centimeter throughout its journey. Okay, if you measure the distance between the point 1 and point 2, then the distance remains same. It doesn't changes. Okay, if the molecules changes its shape and size during its movement, okay, if this compress or it get expanded during its motion, then I call it as the non-rigid one. Okay, non-rigid means okay, their shape and size are not fixed here. Okay, but rigid means the distance, the shape, the size, if they are fixed, then I call it as a rigid here. Okay, let me assume that. So this is an rigid one. Okay, your diatomic gas molecule is the rigid one. In that case, now you say that, so how many possible motions are there? So it can move along the x-axis. Okay, so this molecule can move along the x-axis very freely. It can move along the y-axis. It can also move along the z-axis. Okay, therefore it has got 3 degrees of freedom due to what kind of motion? Or that kind of motion we call it as the translation motion. Okay, due to the translation motion, I call it as translation mode. Okay, due to the translation mode, translatory motion, translation mode, it has got 3 degrees of freedom. Okay, you have got the 3 degrees of freedom. Okay, now this gas molecule is moving. Moving means it possesses kinetic energy. Therefore, I can say that. So the energy corresponding to, okay, now this energy corresponding to translatory motion, I can write it as, what is the formula for kinetic energy? Half of m into square of the velocity. Okay, what is m? M is the mass of the gas molecule. And what is the possible direction for its movement? It is 3. It can move along the x direction, it can move along the y direction, as well as it can move along the z direction. So you can write it as half m vx square plus half m, okay, so it is vy square, okay, plus half m vz square. So this is the energy corresponding to the diatomic gas molecule due to the translation mode. Okay, so similarly, now this molecule can it also rotate about its own axis. Now this is one type of motion. What type of motion it is? It's a rotation motion. Okay, it can rotate here. If it rotates, then its position changes. If the position changes, then we say that motion has been takes place. What type of motion it is? Now, this motion is called the rotational motion. Okay, it has got a rotational motion. So in any two direction, it may be x and y and z. Okay, in any two direction, it can have the rotational motion. And how many rotational motions are there? It can have okay, in the two direction, it can have the rotational motion. Okay, only two direction. Okay, not in the all three direction. Why? If you consider this one as an x-axis, let me assume that is an x-axis. So this is an y-axis. Okay, so if I consider this one as an z-axis, you can see that along the y-axis. Okay, now this is the y-axis. Now this is y-axis. Okay, so if I take the y-axis as an axis of rotation. Okay, so if the diatomic molecules move around that y-axis, now you can see that its position has been changed. Okay, so I consider this one as one mode of rotational. If I consider this z as this z-axis and axis of rotation, again you can see that along the z-axis, if the molecules move, again its position changes. And third possibility is x. Okay, if you take the x as an axis of rotation, you can see here, if you take x as an axis of rotation, so molecule is rotating around x, but you can see that if the molecule is rotating around x, but its position is not changing. The position is not changing, the position of the molecules are not changing. Therefore, I do not consider to be an freedom of a movement. Okay, the position of the molecules remain same. Whereas in case of y and z, you can see that if the diatomic molecules rotate about the y-axis, then you can say that this molecule come on the, if the molecule 1 come to the position of molecule 2 and molecule 2 come to the position of molecule 1. Are you getting me? Okay, so this is, so in that case it has changes. So therefore the rotation takes place along only two axes. Either it is x, z or y. Okay, if I take the molecules like this, then it may be x or z, or it may be y or sort like this, not along the all three direction. Therefore randomly I take this particular, okay, so this one as axis number 1, it may take this as rotation axis, axis number 2, it may be any x, y, z like this. Okay, so therefore you have got only two modes in case of rotational mode. Okay, if I take the rotational mode, so if I take the rotational mode, then the diatomic molecule has got only two possible ways here. Okay, so therefore I can write ER as, and what is the energy corresponding to diatomic molecules? It is given by half of I omega square. Okay, we are studying in case of rotational motion. Okay, energy corresponding to rotational motion is given by E is equal to half I omega square. What is I? I is the moment of inertia and omega is the angular velocity. Okay, omega is the angular velocity and your I is the moment of inertia. Okay, now that is nothing but product of mass into square of the distance. Okay, so it is correct. And omega means the angular velocity. When the rotational motion take place, you do not use the linear velocity, you use the angular velocity. Okay, so therefore ER is given by half of, what is I? I is nothing but moment of inertia that depends on mass of the bodies, reduced mass of the bodies, and the distance between the atoms here, one that is fixed here. Therefore I can write half of I into omega square. Let me write half of I into omega 1 the square. Half of I into omega, what is omega 1? Omega 1 means, let me assume that, so this molecule is rotating about the axis 1 in that particular, okay, axis of rotation. The angular velocity corresponding to diatomic molecule is omega 1. Therefore, it becomes half of I omega 1 square plus half of I remains same. I is nothing but the moment of inertia. Now that's same molecule. Therefore, I remains same. But this time the axis of rotation is different. This time axis of rotation is 2. In that axis, it can have a different angular velocity. Let me take that angular velocity as omega 2. Therefore, the total energy corresponding to rotational motion is given by how much it is? Half I omega 1 the square plus half I omega 2 the square. Therefore, the total energy is given by, therefore, E total. So, therefore, the total energy of the diatomic molecule is given by half of m into Vx square, half of m into Vy square, velocity along the y-axis, plus half of m into Vz square. Okay, kinetic energy along the z-axis, kinetic energy along the y-axis, the kinetic energy along the x-axis. Now, these three energies are due to the rotational motion. Now, due to the okay, so now these three are due to the translation motion. Due to the rotation motion, you can write it as half I. Okay, half I omega 1 the square plus half I omega 2 the square. Okay, so total energies. So how many possible ways the molecule can store energy? In the 5 ways. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 due to the, so now this 3 due to the translatory, now 2 due to the rotatory. So therefore the diatomic molecule has got 5 degrees of freedom. Okay, so the diatomic molecule has got the 5 degrees of freedom. So 3 degrees of freedom due to the translator motion and 2 degrees of freedom due to the rotatory motion. So in the last class we have discussed all this concept here. Okay, therefore the total energy. So we see what does the Maxwell's law of equipartition of energy says? Energy is equally distributed among the various degrees of freedom. Energy is equally distributed among various degrees of freedom, and in the each degree of freedom, per degree of freedom per molecule, for 1 degree of freedom, the energy is how much? Energy is half kT, where K is the Boltzmann constant and T is the absolute temperature. So each degree of freedom, therefore this is also half kT. So this one is also half kT. Okay, so this is also half kT. So this one is also half kT. Okay, so therefore according to Maxwell's law of equipartition of energy, what is the total energy? If you write in terms of Boltzmann constant and absolute temperature, then it is given by half kT, half kT, half kT, half kT. How much it is? It becomes 5 by 2 kT. 5 by 2 kT. Therefore, the energy corresponding to, so now this is nothing but energy corresponding to 1 diatomic molecule is, 1 diatomic molecule is this much. How much it is? This is the energy corresponding to 1 diatomic gas molecule. Next we have taken the Avogadro number, then this Avogadro number multiplied by K, that gives me the universal gas constant. Now okay, now this is all about the rigid one. Okay, now this is an, if you assume that your diatomic molecule is rigid, for example oxygen at the low temperature, definitely it is an rigid diatomic molecules. But if you increase the temperature, okay, if you increase the temperature of the oxygen gas, then what happens? Then these molecules, okay, now at low temperature, these are rigid. The distance between the two atoms remains the same. But as you increase the temperature, okay, at the high temperature, these atoms start vibrating. Okay, they start vibrating. Now this time they are not rigid. Are you getting me? And example like carbon monoxide at low temperatures only, okay, at low temperature only, this carbon monoxide is it is not a rigid gas, it is a non-rigid gas. At low temperature only, this C and O atoms are vibrating. Okay, now this is one more type of motion here. It is not a translatory motion, it is not a rotatory motion, it is an vibratory motion, and due to that vibration it has got one more degree of freedom. Now you can see here, now these molecules can also move along this possible direction if they have vibrational motion. Okay, so therefore during this particular lecture we have to consider diatomic gas as now non-rigid. They are not rigid here. Now this time they are non-rigid. Okay, if they are non-rigid, then I have to consider one more type of motion here. What type of motion it is? Vibrational. I have to consider one more type of mode, that is the vibrational mode. Okay, so vibrational mode. Okay, so if they are not rigid, temperature is high, they start vibrating. So we have to consider this one as a type of an degree of freedom. Are you getting me? Okay, so therefore I have to discuss about vibrational mode here. If I take a vibrational mode, now see here. Okay, so this time the molecules are vibrating. Now see, so this is a molecule. So this is a single molecule. I have taken a single molecule. For an example, I have taken oxygen molecule. The distance between them is fixed. They have some bond here, but in case of, okay, we have seen in the mechanical properties of solid, okay, and other things also, we assume that our bond is in the form of an, okay, we assume that. So this is an, okay, we have taken the spring ball model. Okay, according to, okay, so in the spring ball model, we assume that atoms are assumed to be in the form of ball, small balls, and the bond between them, it is, we assume that they are in the form of an spring. Okay, they are in the form of an spring. Okay, so therefore, so this is the diatomic molecules. So this time, when the temperature is high, now this molecule start what? The molecule start vibrating about the mean position, about the equilibrium position. Okay, at the low temperature, now this is the position of the atom 1, this is the position of the atom 2. Okay, now this is the position, but when it start, okay, vibrating, then you can see here this molecule can move along the x direction in this direction. Okay, it can cover a distance of x from the mean position. Okay, now this is maximum displacement here. Okay, so this molecule can go up to some 5 centimeter, again come to 0, and 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 0 0 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 0, like this. Okay, so now let me assume that this molecule is vibrating along the x-axis. Okay, the maximum displacement from the mean position is 5 centimeter, that is x here. Okay, so therefore, okay, now it is a new type of motion, that is a vibrational motion. And okay, in the discussion of degrees of freedom, we have to consider this particular mode also. So now here, so far we have considered that in kinetic theory of gases, there is no interaction between the gas molecules. Okay, that is our basic postulate of kinetic theory of gases. So okay, based on that assumption, we assume that, so therefore there is no interaction between the gas molecule. Therefore there is no discussion of potential energy. We have taken the internal energies always as the kinetic energy. Okay, in our discussion in thermal properties or in thermodynamics, we have not considered the potential energy, because we have assumed that there is no interaction between the molecules. But in this particular case, we have to consider this interaction here, because you can see here this one molecule and the other molecule, they are interacting through the bond. They have got certain interaction. Are you getting me? If you assume that, now this is one ball, this is another ball, in between a spring is there. If you compress these two balls here, okay, let me compress here. If you release it, what happens? They automatically come to their original position by making certain oscillations, whatever may be, but they comes back. Okay, why they are coming back? Very simple. When you press this particular molecules, some particular atoms, okay, so they get compressed, and now that energy, okay, whatever you are supplying the energy to compress that particular atoms in the molecules, now that energy stores in the form of an potential energy. Okay, when you release that molecules, they automatically come to their original position by using that potential energy. Okay, therefore in this particular case, this molecule has got two types of energies. Okay, this vibrational mode, it has got two types of energy. One, it is kinetic energy. When you supply the temperature, okay, now that molecule absorbs the heat. It shows the translation mode, it shows the rotation mode, as well as it shows the vibrational mode. Okay, so it has got, is vibrating about the mean position. That means it has got the kinetic energy. The motion takes place at the same time. Okay, when the molecules come near the particular spring that compress, okay, when it is moved away, okay, it is not moving far, or it is not moving, okay, very near to the distance. The reason is the bond or spring here. In this particular model, it is spring here. Okay, so in this particular spring, it stores certain energy. Now that energy is called the potential energy. Okay, so now here, in case of vibrational mode, your energy, if I consider EV as an energy corresponding to vibrational mode, then you have two type of energy. One is kinetic energy, half of m v square. I have to write v square, but let me like here. What is v? V is nothing but rate of change of, okay, velocity. Velocity is nothing but rate of change of displacement. If I take x is the, okay, so the distance of the molecule from the main position when it is vibrating. Now this is the main position. Okay, if the maximum displacement covered, or the x is the distance covered by the particle in some time t, then the change in dx with respect to change in time is nothing but velocity here. Okay, so it is correct. V is equal to dx by dt. The x is changing. First it is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, like this. So time is also changing. So change of position with respect to change of time is nothing but velocity. Therefore, I can write half m v square as, I can write like this. So dx by dt the square. Okay, just I am representing in terms of a position. Okay, I am representing the energy corresponding to vibrational mode in terms of a position x. Okay, plus energy corresponding to the potential energy of a diatomic molecule here. Okay, so you know that in case of okay, so rotational motion, or it may be in the concept of ball and spring. So what is the energy stored in the spring? The potential energy stored in the spring. Now see here, now this molecule stores energy in the which material? In the bond, in the spring here. Are you getting me? When you compress the two bonds, okay, the compression take place, and that particular molecules compress what? They compress the spring present between them. Okay, it compresses the spring between them, and that spring stores that energy, stores that potential energy. When you release the particular bonds, they come to their original position by using the energy from the spring. The spring pushes the molecules apart. Are you getting me? Therefore, that particular spring stores the energy. Therefore, the potential energy stored in the spring. And what is the potential energy of a spring? Okay, you studied in the work power energy. The potential energy in the spring is given by half kx square. What is x? Again, x is the displacement of the atom from the main position, half kx square, and where k is called a spring constant. That k is nothing but a spring constant, force constant. If I take the molecules, we call it as force constant. Okay, we can find the value of f k in the next future process in case of oscillations. Okay, let me give a formula to get the value of k here. So therefore, it can be written as half kx square. Are you getting me? If I take one particular axis, x-axis, in the x-axis only, the vibrational mode is storing energy in the form of two types here. One in the form of kinetic energy, second in the form of a potential energy. Okay, that means what? You can see here the translation. So this is a translation mode. So this is a translation mode here. So in the translation mode, okay, this is a translation mode along the x-axis, and it has got only one type of energy, that is half ma square. The translation mode along the y-axis, it is an energy of half ma. The translation mode of along the z-axis, half m vz square. Are you getting me? So in the translation mode, in one axis, it has got only one energy. Okay, but in case of vibrational mode, you can see here the vibrational energy in the x-axis, you have two types here, not a one type, it has got two types here. Okay, that means the translation mode, if it has got three axis, then it has got 3 degrees of freedom. But in the vibrational mode, in x-axis only, you have got what? Two types of motion. You have got 2 degrees of freedom. It's clear? Are you getting me? Okay. So therefore, if I go on right like this, okay, so then along this, so this is an it is a one-dimension picture. If you take a two-dimension picture, then it can be written as next again plus half m into dy dt the square plus half ky square. Similarly, you can so on start writing like this. Okay, so if I take, so first let me take in one dimension, therefore it can be written as EV is equal to law of equipartition of says that energy is equally distributed among the various degrees of freedom, and in each degree of freedom energy is half kT. Now this is energy corresponding to half kT. Now this is energy corresponding to half kT. So half kT plus half kT is kT. Okay, so see here in case of translation mode along the x-axis, what is the energy stored? Half kT. In the translation mode, in the rotation motion along the one axis, what is the energy stored? Half kT. But in case of vibrational mode along the one axis, one particular axis, what is the energy stored? It is kT, not half kT. So this is the main point here. Okay, I think you have got some picture here. Okay, are you getting me? So it has got, okay, now this in the vibrational mode only, the one that in one axis, what is the energy stored? Energy stored is kT. Okay, so are you getting me? So if it is only one, you have got kT. Okay, if you have got x and y axis, then it becomes 2 kT, 3 kT like this. So in the if it is a non-rigid, okay, if the molecule is non-rigid, then your particular energy become what happens? So now see here. So if I consider like this, so if it is okay, so now write like this. So total energy is given by, what is the total energy here? Half kT, half kT, half kT. This becomes 5 by 2 kT. So 5 by 2 kT is due to, okay, now you can see here 3 by 2, half, 3 by 2 kT. Now this 3 by 2 kT is due to which motion? It is due to the translational motion. Okay, so this is a translatory mode plus half kT plus half kT. Okay, so okay, half, okay, so this rotation motion is half kT plus half kT. Now that is due to an rotatory mode. So if you add this to one, rotatory and translatory, this becomes 5 by 2 kT. Plus if I consider, okay, if I consider the vibrational mode, then in one mode, what is the energy stored? kT. Okay, in the one mode, the energy stored is kT. Are you getting me? Okay, if I take this one, so this becomes what? 5 by 2 kT plus kT. Is it correct? Okay, is it correct? Therefore, energy is how much? 5 by 2 kT. Now see here, I have taken only the diatomic molecules. That means what? Now this molecule, if they are along x-axis, they have the vibrational mode along the x-axis. Okay, not along the one atom is moving in x-axis and other atom is moving along y-axis. Now this is not possible. Okay, that means both the vibration of the atom takes place in the same axis. Okay, if they are in the x-axis, then vibrational mode is in the x-axis. If the molecules are in the y-axis, then vibrational mode is in the y-axis. If the molecules are in the z-axis, then the vibrational mode is the z-axis. Okay, therefore either it is x, y or z. In x-axis, half kT plus half kT. Half kT is due to the kinetic energy, half kT is due to the potential energy. Therefore, in one particular axis, what is the energy stored? Energy stored is kT. Is it correct? Therefore, 5 by 2 kT is due to rotational plus translation and kT is due to the vibrational. Well, this is an extra point here. If you consider rigid, then only the 5 kT. If you consider molecule as a non-rigid, then energy becomes 5 by 2 kT plus kT. Okay, so now this is the energy. So this time, this is the energy. So this is the energy corresponding to, now this is the energy corresponding to one diatomic gas molecule. One diatomic gas molecule if it is non-rigid. If it is non-rigid. Are you getting me? Next step. So what is our intention? Our intention is to find gamma, that is Cp by Cv, molar specific heat at constant volume. To get that one, we require molar specific heat, means that means you require 1 mole of a gas. You require 1 mole of a gas. Therefore, energy corresponding to the energy corresponding to 1 mole of a gas. 1 mole of a gas. Okay, the energy corresponding to 1 mole of a gas. So that is given by, okay, so throughout we have taken energy as Q. Okay, in our book they have taken energy as, okay, they have taken energy as U. Let me take U only. Okay, U. So U, energy as U. So U is given by 5 by 2 kT plus kT. So now this is energy corresponding to 1 molecule. Okay, so if you take 1 mole, in 1 mole, how many molecules are there? Avogadro number of molecules. That is 6.02 into 10 raised to 23. So 5 by 2 kT plus kT into Na. Okay, if I take the common terms here, the common terms are 5 by 2 plus 1. What is the common term here? KT. So it is kT into Na. Okay, again you know that what is K? K is the Boltzmann constant. What is Na? Na is nothing but an Avogadro number. So the Boltzmann constant multiplied by Na, that gives me, what is the Boltzmann constant? 1.38 into 10 raised to minus 23, and Avogadro number is 6.02 into 10 raised to 23. If you multiply K into N, then the 10 raised to minus 20, the powers become minus 23 plus 23 is 0. Okay, 10 raised to 0 is 1, and this particular term gives me 8.31, that is nothing but R. Therefore, what is the energy corresponding to? What is the energy corresponding to 1 mole of the gas? The energy corresponding to 1 mole of the gas is given by 5 by 2 plus 1, that is nothing but 7 by 2 into, what is Na into T? This is RT. Okay, therefore the energy is 7 by 2 RT. Okay, so this is 7 by 2 RT. So this is the energy corresponding to 1 mole of an diatomic gas molecule if it is non-rigid. Next is our discussion is to find Cv. Okay, is to find Cv. What is Cv? Cv is nothing but molar specific heat at constant volume. What is the formula? It is given by dq by dt, the ratio of, okay, this is nothing but dq by dt. Okay, you know that. So what is the formula? dq is equal to m into c into dt. Now this is the formula for energy supplied to an material that depends on mass, c and delta t. What is m? If m is nothing but mass here. If you take mass as 1 mole, then c is given by dq by dt. Okay, so c is given by dq by dt. What is the dq? dq is energy supplied. Energy supplied. And the first law of thermodynamics says that energy supplied to a particular system is equal to the change in the internal energy into product of pressure into change in volume. Okay, so throughout our discussion, we have assumed that our entire energy goes to the change of internal energy. It is given to the internal energy. There is no question of change in volume. Therefore, as there is no change in volume, therefore dV is 0. Therefore, your dq becomes du. Okay, therefore the Cv can be written as du by dt. Okay, so that can be written as, therefore Cv, molar specific heat at the constant volume, can be written as, so it can be written as U. What is U? U is nothing but 7 by 2 RT with respect to T. Okay, now there's a differentiation sign here. We have to read it as the differentiation of the particular term with respect to T here. Okay, so the differentiation is not applicable for the constant. 7 by 2 is a constant here. If you take this 7 by 2 R outside, then the differentiation of T with respect to T is nothing but 1. Okay, therefore what is the molar specific heat at constant volume? That is 7 by 2 R. If you take any diatomic gas molecule, what is the value of Cv? The value of Cv is 7 by 2 R. Next I have to find the value of Cp. What is Cp? Molar specific heat at the constant pressure. Okay, so how to find Cp? So let me use the Meier's relation. Meier's relation says that Cp minus Cv is equal to R. That means Cp is equal to Cv plus R. Okay, your Cp is equal to Cv plus R. So Cv is 7 by 2 R plus R. Okay, 7 by 2 R plus R. So this becomes 9 by 2 R. Therefore, what is your gamma? What is your Cp? So molar specific heat at the constant pressure is 9 by 2 R. Therefore, the gamma for the diatomic gas molecules, if they are non-rigid, then it is given by, gamma is given by Cp by Cv. Okay, gamma is given by Cp by Cv. What is Cp? 9 by 2 R divided by, it is 7 by 2 R. You can see here, R get cancelled, 2 to get cancelled, therefore the 9 by 7. Okay, so this 9 by 7 gives 9 by 7, it gives what? 1.28. So 1.2857, something like this. Okay, so therefore this is the value of gamma for the diatomic gas if they are non-rigid. If they are rigid, then the value is, how much it is? We have got something around 1.4. Is it correct? We are getting something 1.4. If they are non-rigid, then it is 1.2857. Okay, so this is about the calculation of gamma for the diatomic gas molecule if the molecules are non-rigid. Similarly, we have tried for the triatomic gas where we have, okay, so we have got the value of gamma for the triatomic gas as, how much we are getting? Okay, 1.33. Okay, again we have assumed that the molecules are assumed to be rigid. Okay, so this time if I consider the non-rigid, again the discussion changes here because we have to consider the vibrational mode also. Okay, so we have to consider the vibrational mode also. Therefore, in general, let me make one equation here, okay, which explain all polyatomic gas molecule. Okay, so whatever be the molecules, polyatomic gas molecule, let me give a single relation. Okay, polyatomic gas molecule. If it is the polyatomic gas molecule, then what is the degrees of freedom? Okay, so for the polyatomic gas molecules here. So far we have studied that. So polyatomic gas molecules, that means it is 3, 4 like this. So again, whatever may be number of molecules, you have got only 3 axes here. Therefore, you have got 3 modes of translation. Okay, whatever may be the number of your molecules, but your axis is only 3, x, y, and z. Therefore, you have got only 3 translation mode. And how many rotational mode? Again, you have got the 3 rotational mode. The molecule can move around x, y, and z. Okay, you have seen that if it is a triatomic gas, then if it is non-linear, then it can the 3 possible rotation. If this is as x, if I take this one as x, this one as y, this one as z, you can see here it can rotate along any 3 axes. Therefore, in case of triatomic gas molecule, if they are non-linear, then you have got 3 degrees of freedom due to the rotational motion. Okay, rotational mode. And in vibrational mode, okay, what about the vibrational mode here? Okay, so you have got vibrational mode. It depends on in which particular axis, okay, the molecules are arranged, so forth. Okay, so you have got the translation mode, you have got the rotational mode, and you have got the vibrational mode. Therefore energy is given by, if I write energy U as, okay, energy is given by, so 3 into, in each degree of freedom, what is energy? It is half kT. So this is 3 by 2 kT. So this is 3 by 2 kT, and this is vibrational mode is kT plus, I write F here. What is F? F is the degree of freedom. Okay, in the vibrational mode, so it doesn't say exactly how many degrees of freedom it has got during the vibrational mode for that particular atom. Therefore I write F here. What is F? F is the degrees of freedom corresponding to that vibrational mode for a particular molecule. But we are sure about these 3. Okay, so we are sure about only 3 axes are there. Okay, therefore I can write 3 by 2 kT plus 3 by 2 kT plus F kT. Therefore our total energy becomes, it is 3 by 2 kT plus 3 by 2 kT. So this is 6 by 2 kT plus what? Plus F into kT. Okay, so this is what? So this is nothing but again energy corresponding to, so this is the energy. So now this is the energy corresponding to so this is the energy corresponding to what? Corresponding to one polyatomic molecule. Okay, now this energy corresponding to one polyatomic molecule. Okay, so therefore if you take 1 mole, of the gas, okay, if you take the 1 mole of the gas, 1 mole of the polyatomic gas molecule, then what happens? Very simple. The energy is given by, U is given by 6 by 2 kT plus F kT, okay, F kT multiplied by what? 1 mole, it contains Avogadro number of particles, so multiplied by Na. Okay, 6 by 2 kT plus F kT multiplied by Na. Okay, so therefore what remains here, U can be written as 6 by 2 kT plus F kT. Okay, so which is common here? KT is common, therefore it is 6 by 2, that is nothing but 3 plus F. So this is 3 plus F into, if you take kT outside, so this is kT into Na. Okay, again K is Boltzmann constant, N is Avogadro number, so Boltzmann constant multiplied by Avogadro number, that gives the universal gas constant. Therefore it can be written as 3 plus F into K into Na is RT. So therefore it is 3 plus F RT. Okay, so therefore this energy is 3 plus F RT. This is energy corresponding to 1 mole of the gas. So therefore CV can be defined as, as in the last step, I am continuing. So CV, molar specific heat at constant volume, is nothing but du by dt. Therefore it is derivative of U is 3 plus F RT. Okay, so which is a constant term here? The constant term is 3 plus F into R is constant. So derivative of T with respect to T is 1. Therefore, what is value of CV? The value of CV is 3 plus F into R. Is it correct? Then next you require the value of CP. CP, it comes from the Mayer's relation. It can be written as CP is equal to what? CV plus R. Okay, so CV is 3 plus F R plus R. Okay, your CP is, okay, so 3 plus F R plus R. If you calculate, so what you will get? So CP is equal to, so this is 3R plus FR plus R. So therefore this 3R plus R, it is 4R. So 4R plus FR. Okay, so therefore Therefore, what is Cp? Therefore, Cp can be written as, therefore your Cp is 4R. If I take R common, it becomes 4 plus F into R. Okay, Cp is 4 plus F into R. And what is Cv? Cv is 3 plus F into R. Therefore, the last step, therefore gamma. So therefore gamma for the any polyatomic gases is given by, okay, so Cp by Cv. So this is Cp by Cv. So Cp is 4 plus F R divided by 3 plus F R. So again your RR get cancelled. Therefore the gamma for the polyatomic gas molecules is given by 3 plus F divided by 4 plus F. Okay, if you consider the vibrational mode also, then you will get the value of gamma as 3 plus F divided by 4 plus F. Okay, so now this is about the discussion about the ratio of specific heat, the calculation of the gamma value, the ratio of specific heat value by using the concept of law of equipartition of energy. Okay, in the next lecture, let me study the specific heat of the solid and the specific heat of the water by using the same law of equipartition of energy. Okay, so thank you for your kind attention.